Well, welcome back. I mean, it's been, I guess, like 3 years at this point. I mean, I got to wonder what the feeling is like. Does it even feel, real at this point?
It's incredible. It's surreal. I'm so excited to be here. I've been waiting literally 3 years to come back here, and I can't even tell you in words how amazing it feels. I'm so excited.
So, I mean, obviously, you've dealt with a myriad of health problems during this time. I mean, was there ever a point where you were like, this is just not going to happen? It's not worth it. I can't get through all this.
There were a couple times I questioned whether or not I was going to be able to come back, and I'm passionate about this sport. I was like, I have to make it happen. Like, no matter what I have to do, I'm just going to listen to my doctors and do everything they say, buy the book, and it worked. Like, I'm so determined to be back here, and there was some times I did question whether or not I was going to be able to do it, but I had to push through because this is my passion. This is what I'm meant to do, and I know that and deep in my heart that this is what I was meant to do.
Was there ever anybody that said, like, hey, maybe it'd be better if you didn't, or, like, we don't think you're going to be able to do this?
No. All my friends and my family and my support group, they were like, you can do this. You can do anything you set your mind to. I'm, like, a very determined person. So they all believed in me, and they pushed me to keep going, even when there were some times I wanted to give up just because it got so tough at times.
So what got you to finally pull the trigger, say, I'm healthy enough, I can do this, it's time to book a fight again?
I started feeling a lot better this year, and then I came out to the PI back in July, and I was working with them, and they ran a bunch of tests on me, and then we kind of talked about it, and they're like, I think we're comfortable with you fighting at 145 again. And as soon as they said that, it didn't take me long. I texted my manager. I was like, hey, I'm ready to come back, and I'm so excited to be here now.
That's awesome. So during this 3-year period, like, how much training have you been able to do? Like, were you still able to continue training on a daily basis, or did you even have to take time off from that?
I had to take a total of about 6 months off completely from training just to give my body some time to recover. And then I've been training consistently throughout that. As soon as the doctor cleared me, at one point I was only cleared to do 20 minutes of exercise a day, but I did it every single day. I was like, okay, that's what I can do. That's what I'm going to do. So I just listened to my doctor, and based on how I felt and my lab results and all that. So I just basically listened to the doctor, and I was able to continue training for the most part throughout the 3 years.
Nice. So the matchup you come back to, I'm curious. I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot of featherweights to pick from, but I mean, a recent title challenger in your return after 3 years away, it seems like not exactly a warm-up fight to jump back in there, right? So what did you think when that's the matchup you got?
It didn't take me long to accept it. I mean, she's really tough. I was actually honored that they were ready to throw me back in with one of the toughest fighters out there. And I mean, she went the distance with Cyborg and Nunez, and what better opponent to test my skills against? And I am so ready for this.
I like it. So here's the interesting part, right? Is you could conceivably be a completely different fighter after 3 years away, right? I mean, so, yes. I mean, do you consider yourself, have you changed? Are you the same fighter we saw before? What's the difference?
I'm a completely different fighter. I've been working a lot with the sports psychologist, so I have a different mentality even. I switched camps, I switched coaches. I've completely reinvented myself as a fighter, and I'm actually training smarter, not as hard as I was to compensate for those health issues. So I'm actually a completely different fighter, and I'm so excited to show off my new skills.
I guess you won't know till Saturday, but do you think there'll be nerves? I mean, it's kind of I don't know. It feels like you're debuting.
I mean, of course, there's always nerves. I'm not going to lie. Everyone gets a little nervous before they fight, and I expect there to be some nerves, especially after taking this long of a break. But as soon as I get back in there, it's just like riding a bike. So I'm sure that it'll all come back to me, and I'll feel what I need to do when I get in there. So.
And as far as the result goes, I mean, I don't want to say does the result matter. Everybody wants to win a fight, right? But I mean, isn't there some kind of victory just in getting back in there? Is it more about just maybe just having fun or just being able to compete again?
I mean, I definitely plan on winning, right? I'm very competitive, so I want to win. But I've been incredibly happy, and I consider it a victory just to be able to take a fight again. And this week, just getting back here, and it's a victory in itself. So yes, I've been very appreciative, and I think I appreciate it actually more than any other fighter, just because it's been so long since I've been able to do this.
Nice. And what's the goal moving forward, I guess? I mean, do you is this kind of a test the waters and see how I feel, or is it let's make up for lost time and fight every week now? Or I mean, what's the plan going forward? I
guess I'm going to try to feel how things go after this fight, how my body handles the weight cut, and how I can recover from it based on my health issues, and we'll just go from there. I'm just taking it one fight at a time right now.
Nice. And last thing for me, I guess, how do you see this fight playing out? I mean, I'm sure you've been thinking about it and envisioning it through your head. So, I mean, do you go in there? Is this somebody that you can dominate? Do you feel like you're going to have to grind something out over 15 minutes? What do you see?
Well, she's really, really tough. Like I said, she's been the distance with some of the toughest females on the planet. So I definitely expect it to be a grind and a tough 3-round fight. I'm not planning on finishing it, but, I want to. So if I can get the finish, I'm going to take it. But I'm planning on it being a 3-round war.
Leah, for those watching that don't know, what can you elaborate on what the health issues were?
Yeah, so for several years throughout my career, I was overtraining and undereating and having some severe weight cuts, and it kind of finally caught up to me. I have hypothyroidism now, and my hormones were all messed up from the overtraining and undereating, so I've been kind of dealing with rebuilding my body, even down to the cellular level. My mitochondria were all messed up from the overtraining and undereating.
When was it that you could start training full time again? You mentioned that you coming back to the training center here, and
I'd say probably around March is when I got back to full training again, back to like fight camp level training, and I was feeling so much better. So that's why I decided to come out here in July and just see where I was at. And I didn't want to push anything or rush anything to make it go too fast, just because my health issues were so severe that I didn't want to rush anything. And so I took my time coming back.
What was that feeling like when you finally were able to full bore go ahead?
Incredibly exciting. I felt like myself again. This is my passion, and so it didn't even feel like myself when I couldn't train full time. Like, this is what I was meant to do. So when I finally got back to full training again, I felt like myself again, and that's such an incredible feeling.